Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are creating productivity application with ReactJS. We will learn how to use useState hooks and I will show you how to create this nice application, which is a very good way for you to learn React and all the concepts that React has, all the basic concepts. So how this app works? Well, basically I can input an activity here and I can say go to gym and I can say add activity, and then let's say read books and add activity, and I don't know what else, learn React hooks, and click on add activity. And now if I complete those, we can see that they are marked as complete, and once I hit this show productivity button, we see that we are 30% productive. And I can hide this, and let's say we delete and we show again, we have 20% because we have two activities that we have done. This is what we are going to create today, guys. Let's open VS Code and start creating this application from scratch. Alright, so I have created a basic ReactJS project with npx create React app, and here we can see that I have the project already installed, and I will start my development server right now and we will start creating this basic application from scratch. So I'm going to say cd productivity app and I'm going to say npm start. This will open the development server on localhost 3000, as we know. And here we will see that our React project is running and it's displaying the default stuff from that npx create React app. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to delete everything inside the app CSS. Okay. And inside the app.js, we will delete everything inside this div with the class name of app, and we will start creating this application. So I'm going to also delete the logo. We don't need the logo. And we'll start creating the app. So here I will display h1 hello from React, just like this. And I'm going to save, but we have a problem. Let's delete also the header and save. Alright, so if I open now, we see hello from React. Okay, let's come back, and inside the source folder, let's or maybe we can directly work inside the app because this is such a small app. So let's create a div right here. So I'm going to say div, the class name of container, so div, and give this a class name of container. All right, inside this div, let's have a basic input. So I'm going to say input type to equal text place holder. So I'm going to say placeholder. Place an activity. All right, let's save and let's see what we have. So come back and we have an input right here. Okay, cool. Let's go below and create a button. So let's say button and say add activity, just like this. And we have this output at the moment. Okay, let's go to app CSS and let's do the following. So let's do the app. So I'm going to say app, or let's do a basic reset right now. So I'm going to say star, box sizing, border box, padding 0 and margin 0. Okay, then let's style the app. So app, it's gonna be width of 100%, height of 100 VH, or let's say min height. Let's say min height of 100 VH. What else? Display flex, line item center, and flex direction column, just like this. Okay. Come back and we will see that we have the input and the button next to each other, and they are in the center, but they are on the top. Let's come back here and let's also start thinking about the logic. So whenever we type, we'll have to add a state to preserve whatever we're typing, and we will have to hook this button to an event listener. Okay, so let's do that first. So I'm going to import useState hook from React. So from React, and also useState for the moment. So let's do inside the component. Let's do text and set text, and that will be useState to equal an empty string by default, and let's say const on add activity handler, and that's gonna equal a function, an arrow function, and here we can just say for the moment, or let's say alert 1 2 3, and let's hook this button. So let's say on click to equal add activity handler, just like this. And here let's say on change to equal an arrow function, and here we have the event, and let's say set text to the event target value, and of course we have to do value of this input field, and that has to be equal to text. All right, now or we can output the text we have right here on the alert. All right, let's save and come back, and let's write something here, and let's click the button, and we see whatever we have written on the alert, which is whatever we want. Okay, so let's delete this and let's start thinking about the other logic. So what we have to do now, we also have to create a state that will hold our activities. So I'm going to say const activity set our activities and set activities. Okay, and by default that's gonna be equal to an empty array. Okay, and what we have to do when we press the button, we have to save this activity and display it. So let's do this, and the way we do this is very simple. First of all, this is very simple, very similar to creating a to-do list application. Basically it's a to-do list application, but we call this activity productivity app. So here, first of all, we will have to get the old activities that we already have. So to do that, we can say const old activities, and that will be equal to an array, but we will spread out. So we will spread out the activities that we already have, and this is called, we are creating a shallow copy of this because we don't want to mutate the state directly. This is a bad practice in React. You always have to make a copy of the state and then change the state with that copy, not directly changing the state. So keep this in mind when you are dealing with states. And now, when we have the old activities, we can say const new activities, and that will be equal to old activities.concat. And we will have here the text, which will be the new activity. Okay, and then we can say set activities to the new activities, and then after that we can also reset the text. So we can say set text to equal an empty string. All right. This is all right for the moment. And here inside the container div, below this button, we can create another div, or we can directly output the activities. Let's try outputting the activities. Or maybe all right, let's first output the activities, and then we will deal with the other button, which will present our productivity. So I'm gonna say here activities.map, and here we'll have an activity, and here basically we will return a div. All right. And let's do also the, let's get the index also, and put this as a key for this div. So key index. All right. And inside this div, let's output, let's have a div, another one, and let's also have another div, and here inside this div, let's have I don't know, h4, maybe h4, and it's gonna be activity. All right, but I have to wrap it with curly braces, just like this. And here let's create a button, and this button can be complete. And let's copy this div and create another one for delete. All right, just like this. And let's see what we have now. If we save, we will see nothing, but as soon as I say go to gym and add this activity, we can say go to gym, add activity. We can try one more thing. Let's say read books and add this activity. We can see the output. Okay, now we have this working. Let's work on the delete functionality, then we have the complete functionality, and then we will calculate our productivity. So first of all, the delete functionality, how this thing will work. Well, we will create another handler right here. We're gonna say const on delete handler, and we will have a function again, and here we will accept let's say an ID as an argument, and we'll pretty much copy the same thing. However, first of all, we will get the activities that we already have, but here we're gonna say instead of all activities that concat, we will say all activities dot filter, and here we'll have an activity, and we'll filter out the activity, or we can directly say here we'll get activity. Let's think about this a little bit. All right, so whenever we click the button, we will have to pass no, that can work. That can work. Activity. We can place here input activity. All right. And if this activity is not equal to input activity, then filter this out. And then we can say set activities to equal new activities, just like this. And here we can say on click, and we execute this function by saying on, let me copy this, on delete handler right here, and we pass the activity from the map function right here. This have to work, and let's save and try this. Let's refresh and go to gym, add it and delete it, but it doesn't work. Let's see why. Okay, it's not working, but let's see why it's not working. On delete handler. Oh, I see why. Because we said activity. So this will not work. Okay. Let's come back and say again, go to gym, add activity and click delete. We see that it disappeared. Okay, this is working. Go to gym, but now we have to do completed. Completed. How this will work? Well, again, here we will have to change a little bit the structure of the activities that we preserve right here. We can do let's think about it. So what we can do, when we complete it, we will cross it out. All right, let's come back and let's change a little bit the logic right here. So let's do the following. So here, let's do const new activity, and let's make this an object, and here let's give this an ID of math.random, math random, and math floor. So math floor, math random multiplied by 1000. That will give us a random number between 0 and 1000. And let's say text, and that can be equal to the, or let's say activity text. That will be equal to the text. All right. And let's say completed false, just like this. And instead of concatenating the text, we can concat the new activity right here. And as we have done those changes here, instead of, we can remove the index, but instead of index key, we can say ID, activity.id, okay? And here we can say activity text, okay? Activity text. And here we can pass activity.id on the delete. And here we can get this ID from the parameters. And here we can say activity.id not equal to the ID that we are passing. And this should technically work again the same way. So let's save and let's see. Go to gym and click add activity, and we can also see that it has been added. We can delete it and it works. All right. But for crossing out, what we're going to do now is we are going to say const on complete handler, and we will pass the ID again, and here we will copy again the all activities. So I'm gonna say all activities equals spreading out the activities, and we will do again const new activities to equal old activities dot for each. So we're gonna loop through each activity, and here we will have activity, and we will do an if check. So or we can do a map. Let's do a map. So all activities that map. We're gonna say if activity dot id is equal to id, then we are going to return this activity. So I'm going to say activity, but we will just change the completed to true. So I'm going to say completed true. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are checking if the activity that we are currently mapping and the ID of this activity is equal to the ID that we are passing. If that's true, we are returning this activity, and everything like ID and the activity text stays the same, but we are just changing this completed Boolean value of the activity. If this is then a true, return this, otherwise return activity. Okay, and once we have this, we can say set new activities to equal new activities, and right here we can just say on click, again run a function, and let's copy the name of this function. So on complete handler, paste this right here, and say activity.id. All right, and let's check if for this text, so style, if we have activity completed, right? So for the style, you can say text decoration let's see, what was this? Text decoration line true. Okay, text decoration, so text decoration, we can say line true, text decoration. So but if we have activity that completed, we have line true, otherwise we have text decoration none, just like this. Let's save and let's test this. So go to gym, add complete, and we have it completed. Okay, this is working. Okay. Maybe you can make it with toggling, but I will leave for you. I will leave this for you as a homework. All right, so we have this completed, and let's have the button now, which will, whenever we press it, we will display how much effective we were. Okay, so below this button, where to put this? Let's create another div right here, and let's create the button, and that will be show productivity. Okay, let's save and let's see where we have the button. We have it right here. All right, but when we click it, we want this to disappear, and we want to show the circle with the percentages of how much, saying how much productive we were. So we will have to create another state for this. And here we can say const show productivity and set show productivity, and that's gonna equal useState false by default. But when we click the button, we will make it true. So here on click, I'm gonna run a function, and I'm gonna say set, what was the name of this? Let's copy it. So this function, we will copy it and paste it right here and say true. All right. Or we can make it with we can make it with toggling. Okay, we can make it with toggling, and here we can put the exclamation mark, and this is going to toggle the show productivity boolean we have. So let's say show productivity. So if this is true, you make it false. If this is false, you make it true. So you will toggle it. Okay. And here, we have this logic right here, activities.map. Here we can say if show productivity is false, then we want to map. But if it's true, then we want another div. All right, so div, and here for the moment I will just put on h2, and I will say 85%, just to see this thing working. And maybe we can also do an inline styling quickly. So display flex, align items center, justify content center. Let's give this width, so width of 300 pixels, and also height of 300 pixels. Later on we will move this to the CSS file, and border radius, so border radius of 50%. And let's see what we have. So save and come back right here, refresh and say go to gym, add activity, click on this, and we can see 85% right here. But this text has to change to height productivity. So let's do this. So the button text of this, we can wrap this in curly braces and say if show productivity is true, then we want to output If this is output, we can say height productivity, else we'll have show productivity, just like this. Okay, let's see again. Let's save and come back and see again what we have. We have now height productivity, and when I click it, we see show productivity, and we also see the list right here. Amazing. So I think we are done with this, and we can start styling this application. Okay, let's do this. Let's start with the input, the button, and everything else. So div class name of container. So the container, inside the container we have the input and the button. Let's give this a class name. So the first button will have a class name btn add, and let's do so input padding 10 pixels, font size 19 pixels, border radius of 5 pixels. For the btn add, again padding of 10 pixels and font size of 19 pixels, border radius the same as 5 pixels, and let's see if this will work. Let's save both files, and now we can see that okay, we have an issue right here. When I click this, you see that it's still working, but we have no string. So to eliminate this problem, we can just say add activity handler. We can say if text equals an empty string, or we can just say if not text, then we return immediately from the function and nothing will happen. This is called reverse conditioning. So you're checking if this is false and then return, basically if it's an empty string. Let's click this, nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens. And also this button show productivity, it's good to be visible only when we have one or more activities. So we can wrap this div inside curly braces and have a check. So if we can say if activities.length is greater than 0, then we want this div to be displayed, else we want nothing to be displayed. Okay, and if I save this and come back, now we see that we don't have anything, but as soon as I type something and add it, we see the button and we'll see the rest. All right, let's style the rest. So come back right here and give this a button class name of btn show. Okay, and the btn show basically will have the same properties as btn add. Btn show, and maybe this container div, so the container can have a margin of 50 pixels top and bottom and 0 left and right. And now we will see the stuff moved a little bit down. Let's say import margin right, so margin right of 5 pixels, and that will put a margin between the button and the the add activity button, and this show productivity button can also have a margin. btn show margin maybe 20 pixels top and bottom and 0 left and right, and save. Let's see, now it's below. All right, so we are making progress. This div with class name, this div that holds the activity text and the buttons can have a class name of activity container. Okay, activity container, and the activity container, so activity, I'm gonna copy this for easier and just do activity container. That's gonna equal display flex, align items center, justify content space between, and we're gonna say width of 600 pixels and height of 100 pixels, just like this. We're gonna say margin of 30 pixels top and bottom and 0 left and right. Let's see what we have. All right, we have this. Let's give it a background color of hexadecimal. We can make this a little bit darker than white. We have this. Okay. Okay, font size of 24 pixels. Well, you can style this the way you want. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more beautiful. Div. Actually, I will eliminate this div. I will remove this div, and I will place the complete button inside this div right here, because I want the buttons to be next to each other, and now they are next to each other, as you see. Maybe we can also say some padding, so padding of 10 pixels. Come back and see, now we see the text that it's not at the end and the buttons are okay. Give this a border radius, so border radius of 10 pixels, and the height of this I will reduce it to 60 pixels, just like this. Now it's looking much better. Also, for the container, let's say display flex, align item center, and justify content center, and flex direction column, just like this. And now we can see that the buttons, that add activity button moved below the input, which is fine. We will it's not a big deal. All right. Okay. Let's continue. Let's copy this btn show styling, and paste it right here and say btn complete and btn delete. Okay, for the complete, you can say background. Let's make it a green and color white. And for the delete, let's say background red and color white. and let's assign those classes to the buttons. So here I'm gonna say class name btn complete, and for this one class name btn delete. Let's save and let's see if we have changed those classes. Well, it's looking much beautiful right now. I can delete it. Let's work also on the add activity. So add activity button, btn add background. Let's change this to some bluish color. So let's do this and color white. All right. btn show. For btn show, let's assign another color. Let's make it, I don't know, maybe yellow color. And let's save and let's see what we have. Add activity, go to gym, and we can see that this application looks a little bit more beautiful. Add activity, let's give this a margin of 10 pixels top and bottom and 0 left and right. Save this, and now we have some margin between the buttons. Or let's see, btn show has margin 20 pixels. Let's make this one also have 20 pixels, and it will be consistent. Go to gym. All right, looking great. And give those buttons a little bit of margin. btn, so margin 5 pixels, maybe margin right 5 pixels. Boom. Yeah, we have some space right now. So complete and delete. And now let's work on this show productivity. So let's see, go to gym, add and read books, add, and let's see, one more, learn React, add. So we have those three, and we will calculate the productivity of that, of your productivity when they are completed. Okay, so when they are completed, we'll calculate the productivity, and this will happen the following way. Here in the app.js, here we'll say curly braces, and we will I'm not good with maths, but let's see. We have activities. So we have to get the count of the activities that are crossed out. Okay. We can create a function for this. Okay, we can create a function for this, and here we'll call this function const calculate productivity, and that's going to be an arrow function. And here we will we'll do the following. So we will how to do that? We have to loop through the array and check how many we have completed. So we can say let percentage to be equal to 0, and we can say activities dot for each, and activity. So here we can say okay, I have a different idea here. What we can do is we can say const completed activities, and that's going to be equal to activities dot map. Here we have an activity, and we will return activity dot completed which is equal to true. Let's see. Activity. And once we have the array, we're gonna say return completed activities dot length, just like this. And inside this h2 we will execute this function. So I'm gonna say calculate productivity. Okay, let's see. We have 3 high productivity. If I add one more, so something, and add activity and complete it, we have 4 now. So four activities that we have done. And if I delete the show, we have 3, which is correct. We have 2, which is correct. Okay. Now, to calculate the percentage, we can work further on this. So here, instead of returning completed activities dot length, we can say okay, let's Google this. How to calculate percentage. Okay. So we have percentage divided by 100%. How much? So how much is 10? Divided by 3 and in percentage. Let's see. I think it's gonna be like this divided by 100. Let's see what we have. .02 multiplied by 100. Let's see if this is the case. 2 high productivity 2. All right, I'll leave this as a homework for you. All right, I'll leave this as a homework for you. Calculate the percentages, how you can calculate the percentage. Let's give this background color of red and color of white. Okay, for this div, and let's say we have to you will work on this further, and you will calculate the percentage here. So you will divide, multiply. I'm not good at maths. I'm sorry. That's a homework for you. Actually, I can do it, but right now I have a very important thing that I have to do, and I have to end this video. So that's going to be a homework for you. You can work further on this. But you have created this amazing application, and you have learned all the important concepts for a beginner in ReactJS. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you enjoy such content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, recommend to a friend, and also if you want to motivate me more to create such content for you, make sure you click the Patreon link and subscribe for the Patreon of this channel. Thank you so much again.